Señoritas y señores, bienvenidos a otro video para Español 1. Or it could be Español 2. The reality is I don't have my stuff in front of me. I don't know what video this is for. And I really can't remember what the heck you guys are learning at the moment. But I know this. Es muy importante ver los videos para la clase de Español. Still very important to watch these homework videos, everybody, because as you know, if you do not watch these homework videos, then you do not know the skills you need to practice in la clase de Español. And when you don't know the skills you need to practice, then you bomb tests and quizzes. And then, of course, you make plans to come back to beautiful Chino Hills High School in Chino Hills, California, USA over el verano, over the summer. That doesn't sound fun, does it? But again, hey, you know? And Señora Barbosa right over there, looking at me like a weirdo, like I'm a weirdo. No, she's not the weirdo, I'm a weirdo. But I think you guys knew that already. I'm not sure if this one's gonna make the final cut. But I guess we'll fix it in post. Okay, so let's get to the video. Here we go. Guess who's back? Back again. Barbs is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Da 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 da. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had an extra cup of coffee. So although estoy muy cansado hoy, I'm very, very tired today. We're gonna power through because it's the power of positivity, people. And hashtag Team No Sleep. I don't know if that's actually an actual hashtag, but I'm making it one. Okay. Here we go. Preterite, regular verbs, señoritas y señores, to talk about actions that were completed in the past. Use the preterite tense. So the condensed version is on page 110, página 110 in your Español 2 libro, Spanish 2. So please feel free to look there. But as luck would have it, Señor Barbosa used to teach Spanish 3 over there at Chino High School. And so I was able to put together a PowerPoint. It's an old PowerPoint, but still, I think it's very relevant here. So let's take a look at preterite verbs. So before we do any conjugations, before we do any of that mumbo jumbo, let's figure out the point of preterite verbs. Okay, generally, preterite verbs refer to one-time actions in the past. All right, so maybe you did something earlier today or yesterday or last night. It has a beginning and an end, okay? Now, later in Spanish 2, you're going to be learning something called the imperfect tense. And those are also, that tense is also a past tense. See, Spanish has two past tenses, all right? Makes things a little complicado because English, we only have one past tense. That's the past tense. But in Spanish, you have the preterite, which is what we're learning now, and then you have something called the imperfect. That's going to be coming up later. Okay, so here's an example of what I'm talking about. If I want to say I worked last night, yo trabajé anoche. Notice that this verb comes from the infinitive trabajar, and it's conjugated in the yo form. Yo trabajé. That's preterite tense, and that means I worked. Yo trabajé anoche. I worked last night. Now, here's a sneak peek at what to expect for the imperfect tense. Yo trabajaba en los veranos. Trabajaba also comes from the infinitive trabajar, but trabajaba refers to an action that doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have an end. It's something that was kind of continuously happening in the past. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And so let's focus our efforts on preterite verbs, all right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to successfully conjugate your preterite verbs, you're gonna need to do exactly what you used to do with present tense verbs. Okay, remember that you take a verb, A-R-E-R-I-R ending, okay, you take your infinitive. Let's take hablar, that's like the go-to example. And if you have hablar, now in the present tense, here's what you would do. You would take out the last two letters, A-R, so then you're left with the stem, H-A-B-L. And then everyone knows in the present tense it's hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, hablan, okay? But now we have different endings in order for us to indicate something happened in the preterite, okay? And here they are for AR ending infinitives. So, look at this, all right? Okay, so here are your AR verb endings in the pretérito. Haste, o, hamos, aron. Okay, and once again, we're leaving out the vosotros. So it's the same exact approach. You take out the last two letters of your AR infinitive and you plug these in their place. So here are your examples. Let's take caminar. So if I want to say I walked yesterday, caminé. Now notice that the little inflection, notice that the ending has an accent over it. Please do not forget your accents, okay? If you see that it needs it, write it. Don't forget them, okay? Caminé is how you pronounce it out loud. Tú caminaste, you walked. Usted, él, ella caminó. Nosotros caminamos, which coincidentally is actually the same as present tense. And finally, ustedes, ellos, ellas caminaron. All right? So that's what you got to do. Same approach as present tense, just different endings. All right? Let's go to ER verb endings. And here they are. Same mindset. Take your ER infinitive, take out the ER, you're left with the stem, and then plug these new endings in. So your ER verb endings are E, iste, o, imos, hieron. All right? So, comer. Look at this. Yo comí. I ate. Tú comiste. You ate. Usted, él, ella comió. Nosotros comimos. Slightly different from nosotros comemos. That's present tense. All right? If you say nosotros comemos, that's present tense. If you say nosotros comimos, that's preterite tense. Okay? Don't get confused because it's very easy to confuse the two. We're talking about IMOS here. And then finally, ustedes, ellos, ellas comieron. You got that? Comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comieron. And then let's take a look at IR verb endings. And look at this. All right. I just talked to you about ER verb endings. We'll take a look at IR verb endings. They're shared. Yeah. So ER and IR infinitives share the same preterite endings. Iste, o, imos, hieron. Not bad, huh? Okay, so let's take a IR ending infinitive such as vivir, to live. Yo viví. Tú viviste. Usted, él, ella vivió. Nosotros vivimos. And then ustedes, ellos, ellas vivieron. So once again, viví, viviste, vivió, vivimos, vivieron. Now, most verbs do all this, okay? Most preterite verbs, I should say, do all this, okay? But take a look. These are regular. So what that means is eventually you're gonna have to know irregular preterite verbs, and these, I'll give you a sneak peek. These are muy difícil. These are very, very difficult, okay? Even Spanish 3 students who are taking Spanish 3 right now, they still have problems with these verbs right over here. Now, we're not going to practice these just quite yet, but I'm giving you a little sneak peek as to what to expect when we get to that point, all right? So again, let's start off small with regular preterite verbs, okay? Regulares. And then we'll get to the irregulares very, very soon. All right, here's something else that I want to talk to you about. Tengan cuidado. Be very careful with your infinitives that end in CAR, GAR, and ZAR, okay? Because there's an extra step involved in your conjugation. When you're talking about the yo form in the preterite tense, there's a spelling change involved, all right? So verbs that end in CAR, GAR, ZAR, all of your infinitives that end like that, they are irregular in the yo form, only the yo form of the preterite, okay? And then everything else is a normal conjugation. So let's check it out. Let's take an example such as buscar. It ends in C-A-R, okay? But before you just slap on the E with the accent, look at what you got to do with the C in the infinitive. This C in the infinitivo has to change to a QU. That's the rule, all right? Because if you don't do that, then you have B-U-S-C-E with an accent, and then you can't pronounce it busque. Now it's pronounced busse, but that's nonsense. You don't want that. So once again, this is your C-A-R ending infinitive. You got to do that extra step and change the C to a Q-U, and now you can see busque, and then the rest are straight ahead. Buscaste, buscó, buscamos, buscaron, okay? Buscar means to look for, by the way. Same thing with the verb. Well, here's some more examples. Now, I gotta admit, these are Spanish 3 vocabulary words, but that's okay. You know what? We can still use them. Chocar means to crash. So if I want to say I crashed, yo choqué. Look at this. Once again, that C changes to a QU. If I'm talking about me, myself, I, okay? Yo choqué. Practicar. Oh, no, you guys already know those. Okay. Practiqué. Again, C-A-R ending infinitive. That C has to change to a Q-U. Sacar, yo saqué. So as you can see, señoritas y señores, there's an extra step with C-A-R ending infinitivos. Let's take a look at G-A-R ending infinitives. Investigar, navegar, jugar, llegar. And I think you can kind of predict what's going to happen next here. That G in the infinitive that ends in G-A-R, there's another spelling change involved. You have to change that G to a G-U. All right? Again, this is all to preserve pronunciation, because according to the Spanish rules, if you leave that G alone and if you don't make that spelling change, then you have a whole another word and you mispronounce the word when you're reading it. So to preserve the pronunciation, this is what you got to do. That G changes to a G-U, okay? So now it's yo investigué, yo navegué, yo jugué, yo llegué, all right? Again, this is all only in the yo form, okay? No other form. Just me, myself, I form, yo form, okay? So once again, that's what you got to do with G-A-R ending infinitives. And then finally, finalmente, we've got Z-A-R ending infinitives, such as almorzar, to eat lunch, or to eat a late breakfast, it depends. Comenzar, to begin. Cruzar, to cross. Empezar, to begin. And once again, in the yo form, what you got to do, that Z has to change to a letter C in the yo form, in the preterite tense. Okay? So take that extra step. Don't misspell these. Yo almorcé. Yo comencé. Yo crucé. Yo empecé. And that's what you got to do with those infinitives right there. All right? And that's a look at preterite verbs. And of course, in la clase de Español, we will most definitely practice a little more. Demonstrative adjectives, everybody. Demonstrative adjectives. More or less what you're trying to do in Español on this grammar lesson is that you're trying to say this or that one over there, if you're talking about a singular thing, person, place, or thing, I guess. And if you have more than one, it's going to be these, those, and those right over there. All right. So this información can be found on page 114, página 114. I'm going to stick with the book for this lesson right over here, and I hope it makes sense. Okay. So let's read together. Here we go. To point out something or someone that is far from both of you and the person that you are speaking to, you use the form of aquel, which means that one over there. So, yeah, so if you want to say aquel, that means that's like across a room or something like that. But that can also be feminine. You can also say aquella. And then, of course, when it becomes plural, then that's aquellos and aquellas. But let's scale it back a little, and let's actually back up a bit. So check it out. Here's a chart that compares the 3 demonstrative adjectives and their meaning. So let's start from the top. Let's start from the beginning, okay? So if I have a singular thing in front of me, all right? And again, this is all something or someone, but I'm going to use lápices y plumas again for this example, okay? So if I have this lápiz right over here, all right? It's going to be este lápiz. Este lápiz, that means this. Este means this, okay? But if I have a pen, this pen, it's going to be esta pluma. Esta pluma. Notice no accent marks. Esta pluma. So once again, to say this in Spanish, este, esta. You got that? Okay. Are you looking at me right here? Okay, sorry. I meant to say, hey, look at me, look at me. Este, esa. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to put these pens over here. I'm sorry, not pens. One pencil, one pen. I'm going to put them over here a little bit this way. Can you see them? You can barely see them. All right, so now I want to say that pencil in Spanish. And what do I say to say that pencil? Ese lápiz. Ese lápiz, okay? If I want to say that pen, esa pluma, esa pluma. Okay, so once again, ese lápiz, esa pluma. Okay, so now I'm going to put my lápiz and pluma over here. Okay, and now if I want to say that one over there, if I have my lápiz, it's going to be aquel lápiz. Once again, aquel lápiz. Across the room, aquel lápiz. And if I want to say that pen over there in Spanish, aquella pluma. Aquella pluma. Okay? So once again, let's recap. Este, esta for this. Ese or esa for that. And then finally, aquel and aquella for that one over there. Okay, so once again, this is all if you have singular nouns. Okay, obviously, if I have a masculine singular noun such as a pencil, un lápiz, el lápiz, it's going to be este, ese, aquel. And if I have a singular feminine noun such as a una pluma, la pluma, it's going to be esta, esa, aquella. All right? But now let's analyze plural nouns. So now I've got more than one lápiz. Now I have los lápices. Okay, los lápices. And now I have more than one pen. I have las plumas. Las plumas. Okay, lápices and plumas are always a quick and easy example. Okay, so let's start. If I want to say these right in front of me, it's going to be estos lápices. Estos lápices. Estas plumas. Okay? Estas plumas. So these right over here. Okay, put them over here. Or should I say there, over there. So now if I want to say those pencils in Spanish, it's going to be esos lápices. Esos lápices. Okay? If I want to say those pens, esas plumas. Esas plumas. And then, once again, I'm going to get up real quick. Put these over here. So now they're across the room. So if I want to say those pencils over there, aquellos lápices. Aquellos lápices. And then if I want to say those pens over there, aquellas plumas. Aquellas plumas. All right, so let's recap. These, for masculine nouns, and they're plural, estos, esos, aquellos. All right? Now, if I have a feminine noun, or nouns, feminine, plural, estas, esas, aquellas. All right? So as you can see, on page 114 in your book, look at what it says under the yellow chart. It says all demonstrative adjectives come before the noun and agree with the noun in gender, masculine or feminine, and number, singular or plural. Matchy, matchy is what you gotta do, okay? So, to put a big bow on this whole lesson about demonstrative adjectives, and see, demonstrative adjectives are kind of tough because just like nouns in general in Spanish and adjectives, number, gender, that's always the toughest part of, one of the toughest things about learning Spanish is that you always have to be cognizant, you always have to be aware of singular, plural, masculine, feminine. And that's something that we don't do in English. And to this day, Señor Barbosa still has to take an extra half a second for me to think about the thing I'm talking about and then decide whether it's singular or masculine, plural or masculine or feminine. I mean, because again, I learned English before I learned Spanish, and for non-native Spanish speakers, it can be a challenge. Because in English you just say the, and then there's no number gender agreement when you're talking about, describing things using adjectives. Anyway, all right, I already told you about that whole thing. So again, let's recap demonstrative adjectives. This or these, that or those, or these, or this or these over there. I think that made sense. I hope it made sense. Well, anyway, if I went too fast for you, just, go back in this video, and hopefully that clears things up. As always, muchísimas gracias a todos. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching these YouTube homework videos, because you got to watch these videos in order for you to be successful in La Clase de Español. The semester's winding down very quick, as I mentioned before, and I hope you make time for Español. As always, leave a comment below for your points. I will see you in the next video. Muchas gracias a todos. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you very soon. Adios.